Yeah. 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 Mystic Matt turning fives to stacks. Party King bets rolling like tracks. Doubters gonna hate, but the cheddar's fat. UFC nights turning pennies to racks. Spread too wide, Vegas holding the breath. Props and parlays, betting like nothing left. Pull the underdog moves like a chess grandmaster. Break the bank, they'll respect you faster. Cheddar change, mystic rearrange. Dollar bills from change, bets ain't strange. Critics might scoff, they don't know the range. Mystic Matt cashing in, pocket feels strange. $5, $10, pocket rocket. Fight night knowledge, stacking dicket. Vegas odds shaking, they can pick it. Mystic Matt, every win a ticket. Cash coming in, steady river flow. Count it out, often doubters laying low. Parlay stacked, high pro gamble show. Mystic's foresight, bets overflow. Cheddar change, mystic rearrange. Dollar bills from change, bets ain't strange. Critics might scoff, they don't know the range. Mystic Matt cashing in, pocket feels strange.
And what is going on, everyone? It's Friday. The green lights are on. We've got some UFC fights tomorrow. It's time for Change to Cheddar right here on the Golden Octagon. My name is Matt, and as always, I appreciate you for stopping by and hanging out with me here tonight to go over my last reads and predictions for the fights this weekend. UFC, Vegas, whatever it is, Brandon Royval versus Taira. With that being said, I do appreciate you guys. Once again, please hit that thumbs up button for me if you don't mind. So with that being said, you only got a couple of y'all in here in the comments. We got Austin in here. We made it another week. LFG, boys. Indeed, we did make another week. Shout out you guys for making it through another week. We did it. We did it. And we got Daniel in here with the LFG. So with that being said, yeah, let's go ahead and run through all the fights on this card, prelims to the main card. We did have 3 weight misses. We do have 1 fight cancellation. Let me get the odds pulled up. And FanDuel is being dumb today. They have no props on any of the prelims, so it's kind of hard to make some huge parlays this weekend because FanDuel is slacking. But with that being said, let's get into it. Our first fight that we are going to talk about is the weight miss between Abdul Razak Al Hassan did not miss weight. Josh Frem missed weight at 189 pounds. So the fight between these two have been canceled. Shout out Josh Frem, because I was really high on Abdul Razak Al Hassan this week. I personally thought he was going to knock out Josh Frem in the first round, but no more of that fight. So looks like D Rose will have to pick a different fight for the pick champ this week. So with that being said, let's move on to our first actual fight between Clayton Carpenter and Lucas Rocha or Hosha, whichever one it is. Currently, odds for this fight -225 for Clayton Carpenter, +185 for Lucas Rocha. The over/under on this one is set at 2.5. The over 2.5 -154. The under 2.5 is +120. And yeah, you look back at Lucas Rocha's record, and he's fought down at not even joking, down at strawweight before. He has 115-pound fights on his record, and I personally think he's just too small. There's not a weight class for him in the UFC, and Clayton Carpenter is rather good fighter. He's a really good grappler, been grappling all of his life. So with that being said, I got to go Clayton Carpenter here. I personally think at some point he probably submits this guy because he gives up his back a ton, at least from what I've seen. And just the size difference. Could he scramble, make it out? I guess so. He's only been finished once, but I just think he's too small, to be honest. So with that being said, let's go Clayton Carpenter over and Clayton Carpenter submission. So let's go Clayton Carpenter over, but not over 2.5. Maybe Clayton Carpenter over 1.5. Let's go Clayton Carpenter late round 2 sub for this fight. So that's the way I am going. Clayton Carpenter via submission. We'll move on to the next one. We have another weight miss, and one that is not in my favor because I was heavy on Dan Argetta this weekend. He did miss weight. 138.5 is what he weighed in at this morning. So currently odds for this fight plus 142, the underdog for Dan Argetta, minus 170, your favorite for Cody Hatton. The over under on this one is 2.5. The over 2.5, minus 175. The under 2.5 is plus 135. With that being said, and the weight miss still happening, I guess just seeing them face off, I think Dan's gonna rehydrate and be all right tomorrow. If I'm going to be completely honest, he's a lifelong wrestler, so he's cut weight a lot in his life. So bad weight cut here and there, but he knows how to rehydrate. You can't rehydrate wrong, right? I guess I don't know. I'm not a fighter, but with that being said, I love Dan's ferocious attention to the takedown. He will get the takedown no matter what. And once you're on the ground, he is going to do whatever he can to finish you there. This is another one where I like the dog, or not another one where I like the dog, but this is one where I like the dog, but another one where I like the submission. You go back, look at the Ronnie Lawrence fight. Ronnie Lawrence is a really tough, good fighter, and Dan Argetta just kind of toyed with him for the most part. I know he was called a no contest, but that's because Keith Peterson stopped it early. But yeah, give me Dan Argetta to win this fight. Give me Dan Argetta to submit Cody Hatton because, we just don't know a lot about his grappling, but we know a lot about Dan Argetta's grappling, and he is on it nonstop. So I'm on the dog here. Give me Dan Argetta to let's go second round submission once again. So we'll move on to this slop fest. I'm going to be quick on this one, you guys. I'm going to be honest, just because it is what it is. We've got Junior Tafa minus 305, the favorite, and Sean Sharaff plus 245, the underdog. The over under on this one is set at 1.5. The over 1.5 is plus 230. The under 1.5 is minus 315. So basically, what the odds makers are telling you is Junior Tafa going to finish Sean Sharaff in under a round and a half. But to be honest, y'all, Junior Tafa is just not the best fighter in the world. He is I guess, light heavyweight pretending to be heavyweight, but I mean, maybe even a middleweight pretending to be a heavyweight, because it's just you can just tell he's just not. I don't think he just takes strength and conditioning that serious, to be honest. So with that being said, we know he has power, and we don't know anything about Sean Sharaff. So I guess take the under 1.5 here. But if you want my personal opinion, I would not bet that fight, just because it's a coin toss. What do you really know about it? What do you really know? We got Joshua Lopez getting into drafting this week. Due to you turned a $25 deposit into. Oh, I have no clue what you're saying. Maybe got into DraftKings this week and turned $25 into 1,231. That's what's up, man. If that's what you mean, that's what's up. Congrats to you, man. Congrats. So yeah, with this one, I'm actually going to pick the underdog, just because I don't think Junior Tafa is that good. However, yeah, I'm not going to be betting on that fight. Moving on to the next one, we do have Julia Pelostri taking on Corey McKenna. Julia Pelostri minus 125. Corey McKenna is plus 105. The over-under on this one is set at 2.5. The over 2.5 minus 445. The under 2.5 is plus 310. What are you going to do with a minus 445 for an over? I mean, I don't even want to parlay it, to be honest. The thing that scares me here is, I guess I thought Julia Pelostri was going to be at least a few inches bigger than Corey McKenna, and she's not. We know she's going to have a reach advantage over her, because Corey McKenna's reach is like 50 some odd inches. It's horrifically small. So it just throws me off a little bit, because I expected there to be at least a few inch height advantage, and now that there's not, they kind of size up well. Do I think Corey McKenna could probably grab a hold of this girl, take her down? I really do, to be honest. I picked Julia Pelostri earlier in the week, but I don't have the greatest feel on it now, to be honest. So to To be honest, I could see this fight going to split decision, going either way. I'm going to pick Pelostri still, Pelostri to win by decision, but I don't feel great about it. I'd feel more confident in the split decision prop, to be honest. But yeah, give me Julia Pelostri to win this fight via split decision. We'll move on to the next fight, being Themba Gorimbo taking on Nico Price. Let me get the odds here. So currently odds for this one, minus 325 for Themba Gorimbo, and Nico Price is plus 260. The over-under on this one is set at 2.5. The over 2.5, minus 110. The under 2.5 is minus 120. And I'm going to be completely honest, you guys. Like, I couldn't bet Nico Price in any fight after seeing him get snoozed in like 10 seconds in the Robbie Lawler fight. From that point on, it's just like, dude, this guy is old and he's washed at this point. I know I'm not going to pretend like Themba is the next champion, but at this point, Themba is so young. He's powerful. He's determined to win. And you see it in the face-off here. Nico Price just kind of up here, just ready to have fun for the most part. He's out here trying to have fun, get a paycheck, feed his 15 kids he has. But I just think the youth determination is just going to get it done here. So give me Themba Gorimbo to probably knock out Nico Price, probably in the first round. That's the way I'm going. Let's go Themba Gorimbo round 1 knockout over Nico Price. We'll move on to the next fight, being Jonathan JSP Pierce, baby. How can you not love you some JSP Pierce, boy? Jonathan JSP Pierce, and they size up very well. Oh, I should probably pull this back up here. Jonathan Pierce versus Patsabatini. So currently odds for this fight, Jonathan JSP Pierce is minus 185, your favorite. Your underdog is plus 154, Patsabatini. The over-under on this one is set at 2.5. The over 2.5, minus 145. The under 2.5 is going to be plus 114. Yeah, this is one where I guess it's scary when I say I have a strong read on it, because sometimes my strong reads, work out just as planned, and other times it's just like I was just wrong. I was just wrong. But this is one of those fights that I have one of those strong reads on. I think round 1, Jonathan Pierce probably going to get taken down because Patsabatini is a good grappler. Is he, would I consider him the quality, like determination level of like Dan Argetta or like Brady Heastan? No. But he's probably going to get you down in that first round. I'm just going to need JSP to stay safe and get back up, because at some point after the first, Patsabatini does start to gas a little bit. And once he does, that's when JSP is going to take that knob on that pressure cooker and just crank it up, because he is going to come out swinging like a mofo, baby. I am really high on Jonathan JSP Pierce. Round 2 or 3 KO this week. The prop on FanDuel, at least yesterday, was plus 750. I'm not sure what it is now. Can't get that prop on DraftKings, unfortunately. But I like Jonathan JSP Pierce over 1.5 if you're on DraftKings, and if you have FanDuel or access to KO props, give me Jonathan JSP Pierce round 2, 3 KO. But to be more specific, give me Jonathan JSP Pierce for that third round knockout, baby. Let's get it. Moving on up, we've got CJ Vergara taking on, how do I say this guy's name? Ramazan Beck. I'm just going to call him Ramazan Timorov. DraftKings got a Beck on his name, not really anywhere else. So anyway, CJ Vergara is your underdog at plus 270, and Ramazan Timorov is minus 340, your favorite. The over-under on this one is set at 2.5. The over 2.5 is going to be minus 195. The under 2.5 is going to be plus 150. This is another one where I was like, I think Ramazan just comes in here and just easily does enough all 3 rounds to beat CJ Vergara. But man, after seeing this weigh-in, I am not feeling good about it, to be honest. CJ Vergara is never the bigger guy, literally never the bigger guy. And he made weight, and he is the bigger guy. It doesn't really look like it in the photo, but when I took the screenshot, it was because he was like squatting down just a little bit to kind of be eye level with guys. So I think CJ's probably 2, 3, maybe even 4 inches taller like than this guy. And I know basically the only thing he does is either swing hooks or do these spinning kicks. And if that's not going to work, I don't know if he's going to win, to be honest. So I was on Ramzan Timarov earlier in the week, but I'm going to be honest, I don't feel great about it now. Give me the over here. The fight probably goes to decision. This fight probably goes to split decision, to be honest, because round one's probably going to be hectic. Round two probably going to be back and forth, but CJ's probably going to win that round three, especially if this guy kind of starts gassing because, he's going to be fighting UFC level talent. That is actually UFC level talent at this point. That's bigger than him, and we know can go 3 rounds. So don't feel great about it, to be honest. But I'm still going to pick Ramzan Timarov to win the fight via split decision. This is another one where a split decision prop is plus 450. I don't hate the split decision prop here just because CJ is tough. CJ is tough. We got James in here. Hey, man, love from Australia. Keep grinding, brother. I appreciate you, James. Thanks for the kind words, my brother. Thank you, my guy. So we'll move on to the next one being, who is this? Daniel D. Rod Rodriguez taking on the great white Alex Moreno. Earlier in the week on the on the podcast, I called this one of D Rod's old prison fights because that's, I'm sure, many guys that he fought in prison probably looked like Alex Moreno, if I'm going to be honest. And his fight name, the Great White, doesn't help the situation anymore. But yeah. Alex Moreno looked good on the scale, which is a good look because he looked like absolute dog shit basically in his past 2 fights. But even with him looking good on the scale, I don't think it matters. We know D-Rod is tough. We know, he basically only been knocked out against Ian Gary, got subbed against Neil Magny, but that was in the 3rd round, and he was exhausted. D-Rod also looks in really good shape. Like this week, he don't really ever have abs or anything like that, but I just feel like both fighters are going to come in here. Both fighters look good. Should be a good fight, to be honest. But give me the longer, taller guy with the good jab, good leg kicks too. I'm going to be honest. So, give me D-Rod to win this fight, 3 or decision. The reason I say 3 or decision is because Alex Moreno can look good for 2 rounds and then just kind of start to fall off there at the end and then just get cracked. We've seen it more than a few times now. So give me D-Rod to win this fight, 3 or decision. I believe the exact number on that is probably 110. But give me Daniel D-Rod Rodriguez to win this fight, probably via decision, though. So we'll move on to the next fight, being Grant KGD Dawson taking on Rafa Garcia. I'm going to be short here, I think, just because I think both fighters are just basically have the exact same skill set. Both fighters are wrestlers. However, I do think Grant Dawson is about a couple levels above Rafa Garcia. Just the technique-wise, strength-wise. The only thing he's not better at Rafa Garcia than is his chin. and that's basically it. But, we don't really see Rafa Garcia out here throwing power punches, and he's not that fast, like a Bobby Green that can find the chin that quick. So with that being said, I just see Grant Dawson just probably winning every round. This is probably going to be 30-27 Grant Dawson, because once he gets that back position, he's probably going to stay there the entire round, and he seems to always find that position. So Grant Dawson via decision for me there. We got James saying, about to start collecting UFC cards, and your videos have helped me heaps. Love your streams and videos, man. I appreciate it, James. I appreciate it. This kind words, kind comments like yours, man. I'm glad I can help someone out. At least I'm not here for absolutely no reason, just talking into the abyss and not helping anyone. That's my goal. I'm just trying to help some people because I know I had a lot of questions when I first started. So that was Grant Dawson versus Rafa Garcia. So Grant Dawson via decision for me. Moving on to the next fight. It's another one of my ones where I just have this tickle, just a little bit of tickle right in the back of my neck. And this prop is wild. And I feel like no one's talked about it. So if this cashes and you play it, you're welcome. You heard it here. You heard it here. So here we go. Cheaty Njokuani. Bang bang Njokuani taking on Jared, the night train. Choo choo Gooden, baby. Yeah, this is one where Jared Gooden did miss weight, 172.5 pounds, and he did not look good on the scale. He was his like, I don't know how to say it. His like jaw was quivering on the scale, like he couldn't really hold his mouth closed. Looked kind of odd, and when he blinked, it was one eye. But if I'm going to act like that's the first time that I've seen Jared Gooden have a hard weight cut, I would be lying because I feel like he not looks like that every time, but he looks rough a lot of times on the scales. But man, when fight night comes, he seems to be ready to go. And Cheaty down at 170 before his last fight against Reese McKee in the first place, which he didn't look the best to begin with. He did win the fight, but to be honest, that was a close fight against Reese McKee. And Reese McKee's not a good fighter. He's probably not. I could probably confidently say Reese McKee is not a UFC level fighter. And Cheaty was just struggling against him. Jared Gooden has been in the UFC, been cut from the UFC, now back. And in his last fight, Wellington Turman, I told you guys, I was like, Wellington Turman is training with Alex Pereira now. He's going to be so confident in his striking that he's going to go out there and try to box with Jared Gooden. And if he does that, Jared Gooden has too much power. It's going to be a choo-choo knockout. And although it wasn't a Jared Gooden knockout, he did end up hurting Wellington Turman, which had Wellington Turman shoot in on him, and we got the Jared Gooden sub, which is honestly the same path that I'm going back to this time. Something like the Hobo Cop Gregory Rodriguez fight versus Cheaty. I expect round one to probably be tough. Jared Gooden's probably going to get wobbled a few times in that first round. But guess what happens after that? Cheaty's going to gas. I just think the pressure that Jared Gooden puts on him, the power, and maybe just from sheer beating Jared Gooden's face in, Cheaty might be tired after that first round. But that's when the choo-choo starts rolling, baby. Jared Gooden, I expect him to maybe start putting more pressure on that second round. Maybe start to crack Cheaty Njokuani. Get him kind of shaking here and there. And by the end of round two, maybe even early round three, I expect Cheaty to either be trying to shoot on Jared Gooden, or it just looks like a body lock, throw down, and we get a Jared Gooden round two, round three submission. Right now, or at least the other day on the channel, the round two, round three prop for Jared Gooden was plus 2,600. So 26 times your money. I put $5 on it. Yeah, it was worth the shot for me, and I'm sticking with it. Give me Jared choo-choo, night train Gooden, baby. Let's go late round two submission for Jared Gooden, the dog, baby. Co-main event time. We've got a rematch, or I guess not a rematch. This fight was scheduled and then didn't happen, and then now it is happening. We've got Brad Tavares taking on. I didn't give you guys odds for. I don't think Cheaty Njokuani versus Jared Gooden. Cheaty Njokuani. Let me pop this back up. Cheaty Njokuani minus 162. Jared Gooden is plus 136. Over under on that one is 1.5. The over 1.5 minus 180. The under 1.5 is plus 140. I do apologize, you guys. Anyway, Brad Tavares versus Jung Young Park. Brad Tavares is your underdog plus 164. Jung Young Park is minus 198. Your favorite. Over under on this one is 2.5. Over 2.5, basically minus 300. The under 2.5 is plus 220. This is one where I did pick Brad Tavares. I think he has the skills to beat Jung Young Park. It just depends on how's this fight going to play out, because it most of the time Park wins, he ends up getting his opponents down and is able to control them for quite a bit. But Brad Tavares' takedown defense is just too good, and I don't see Jung Young Park getting him down. So we get to see basically 3 rounds of Jung Young Park's striking here. How's he going to look? How's he going to look against the I don't want to say tricky veteran, but just the veteran that just does the damn thing still? He's going to go out there and he's going to make it all 3 rounds unless you knock him out. And he's, he's hard to take down, and he's a solid point fighter. So, yeah, this one's truly a tough one for like me to call, just because I see so many people on the turtle this week. It's kind of swaying my opinion. When I say so many people, I guess smarter people, I guess people that I personally go to their shows to also listen to, but I just see them being on the turtle, and I guess I just don't have the most confidence in this fight this week. So I guess give me the over here. Over is a solid parlay piece, but I want to stick with Brad Tavares. I'm not going to pick flip. Give me Brad Tavares to win this fight via decision. Probably going to be wrong on that one, though. It'll be all right. It'll be all right. Let's see. We got Joshua Lopez. Got an 8-leg parlay, $20 to win 1,117. Good luck, my brother. Good luck. Hopefully you can cash that. Hopefully you can cash that motherfucker. So main event time, we do have Tatsuro Taira taking on Brandon Raw Dog Royval. Odds on this fight, plus 240, the underdog for Brandon Raw Dog Royval, and minus 300, your favorite Tatsuro Taira. The over-under on this one is 3.5. The over 3.5, minus 130. The under 3.5 is plus 100. This is one where I don't know how anyone can be this confident to have Brandon Royval a minus 300 favorite against, I don't want to say unproven Tatsuro Taira, but this is without a doubt going to be Tatsuro Taira's toughest test, and he's the same size favorite that, Pantoja was, that Brandon Moreno was. 2 champions, and I just have a hard time seeing that, especially just seeing Tatsuro Taira get dropped by Edgar Chairez. We know Edgar Chairez has power, but he's not one of the top he's not one of the top flyweights in the world, as where Brandon Raw Dog Royval is, and he's shown multiple times he does have knockout power. He has grit and determination, and I don't think he's as fragile as he used to be. One of my favorite knockouts ever was Brandon Royval over Kai Kara-France. It was absolutely nuts. It shows that he can get hurt, but guess what? He is pure chaos at all times. And good luck, 100% getting him out of there. I do know that his weakness is getting submitted, but yeah, when I look and see how the fighters size up, I just like it. I like that Raw Dog is the bigger guy here. So I don't see Tatsuro throwing around Raw Dog like he did Alex Perez, hopping on his back, doing all that shit. I believe Brandon Royval is big enough to fight off the grappling himself. And if Tatsuro Taira wants to play on the feet, I don't think that's going to be a good idea. I do think Brandon Royval is the much better striker here. And I just truly don't see why the odds are this far apart. If it was minus 110 apiece, I'd probably go Taira, but seeing plus 240, I got to go Raw Dog. Give me Brandon Royval to win this fight, and give me Brandon Royval to win this fight via knockout. Let's go 3rd round knockout for Raw Dog Brandon Royval. We know he's got 5 rounds in him. Does Tatsuro Taira? I don't know. Let's see. We got PNB Kick saying, "Hey man, been loving your vids. Got 2 tops knockout boxes and pulled an Oliveira relic auto and Islam out of 99. That's what's up. Awesome cards. So with that being said, you guys, that's all my picks for every fight on the card. We'll go through them one more time, and then I'll give you my bets and parlays. So first fight of the night, give me Clayton Carpenter to win via 2nd round submission. Second fight of the night, give me Dan Aretta to once again win via 2nd round submission. This one, I don't care, not even in the slightest. Justin Tafa is not a good fighter. I'm sorry, Junior Tafa is not a good fighter, pretending to be a heavyweight, and it wouldn't surprise me if this UFC newcomer as the dog won. Julia Pelostri, Corey McKenna. I was on Pelostri earlier in the week, but I'm a lot less confident on it now, seeing how they size up, because I expected Pelostri to be a little bit bigger than what she is against Corey McKenna. Still picking Pelostri to win via split decision. This one right here, Themba, Nico Price. Yeah, I got Themba to knock out Nico Price in the first round. Jonathan JSP Pierce taking on Patsabatini. Give me Jonathan JSP Pierce to win this fight via third round knockout, just due to Patsabatini got no gas left. Up next, we've got CJ Vergara versus Ramazan Timiev. This is another one where I was on Timiev earlier in the week, or I said Timiev. What is his name? I don't want to get this wrong. Or if I am, who cares? Man, where's it at now? I can't even find it. There we go. Ramzan Timurov. Anyway, I was on Ramzan Timurov to win this fight earlier in the week, but seeing that CJ Vergara is the bigger guy when they face off kind of doesn't make me feel the greatest, but I'm going to go Ramzan Timurov to win the fight via split decision. But if you're on CJ Vergara there, I don't hate you for it. I don't hate you. D-Rod versus Alex Moreno. Give me D-Rod to win the fight, 3 or decision. Grant Dawson versus Rafa Garcia. Give me Grant Dawson to win this fight, 3 or decision. Cheaty and versus Jared Gooden. Give me Jared Gooden to win this fight via, let's go late second round submission. Co-main event, Jung Young Park, Brad Tavares. Give me Brad Tavares via decision. And main event, give me Brandon Raw Dog Royval to win the fight via third round knockout. So that is every one of my picks. Let's get into the bets and the parlays. So earlier in the week, my podcast play of the week was Dan Aretta at plus 150. Did put $10 on that to win 25. Now seeing him miss weight, don't feel as great on it now, but I did make that bet on Wednesday, and I don't think he's plus 150 anymore. Dan Aretta plus 142. I guess he could be plus 150 on FanDuel still, but yeah, I do have $10 on Dan Aretta to win straight up. He can win anyway. I do have my long shot prop of the week shared with you on the podcast earlier in the week as well. Jared Gooden by sub in round 2 or 3. $5 on that is plus 2,600. So $5 to win $135 if Jared Gooden does submit Cheaty and in round 2 or 3. Now we're getting into the ones that you guys will be seeing for the first time. I guess my most confident parlay this week, I did put $25 on this 4-leg. It is Clayton Carpenter, Themba, Jonathan JSP Pierce, and Daniel D-Rod Rodriguez. $25 to plus 334 to win 108. So that's my most confident 4-leg. I did put 25 on it. And here we go. $10. Jonathan JSP Pierce, KO round 2 or 3, and Jared Gooden sub 2 or 3. I did put $10 on that to win 2,295. If I win that, I'm going to be so happy. $10 2-leg turned into, what is this? $2,300. First of all, I've only won that much off of one parlay, and it was a 12-leg parlay. If I'm able to hit that off of a 2-leg, I'll be hype off of that for months probably. So hopefully we get lucky, and hopefully we can get that to happen. Now, as I said, starting off the show, FanDuel's bullshitting this week, and they don't have any prelim props. So I can't share you guys any prelim parlays or anything like that on FanDuel. So I had to go over to DraftKings. So had to deposit into DraftKings. My first one is a $5 parlay. This is 2 different $5 parlays. The first one is a 5-leg at plus 5,082. It's Clayton Carpenter money line. The Julia Pelostri versus Corey McKenna fight to go to split decision. CJ Vergara versus Ramzan Timurov to go to split decision. Daniel Rodriguez money line and Grant Dawson money line. Yeah, those are the fights that I guess After I saw the weigh-ins, I'm like, this is going to be closer than what I thought it was going to be. So that's the first one. And the big daddy this week, $5 to win 2,679. It is a 6-leg parlay. It's Clayton Carpenter to win by submission. Dan Aretta to win by submission. Themba to win by finish. It doesn't matter how, so knockout or submission. Jonathan Pierce versus Patsabatini to not go the distance. So to go the distance, no. So that means either fighter can finish the other one, and it'll be all right. We got CJ Vergara versus Ramazan Timov to go over 1.5 rounds. And the last leg on that one is D-Rod, Daniel Rodriguez, to win the fight in round 3 or decision. $5 on that to win $2,679. And don't forget that 7 cents. But who cares, to be honest? Are we going to hit any of these this week? I hope so. As I said, my most confident one is this one. If we hit this one, we at least double up. We'll do a little bit better than break even, almost kind of double up. You know, we're in the plus if we hit one. So with that being said, that is all of my plays for, what am I saying? That is all of my picks for all of the fights on the card. That is my bets that I have. 2 straight bets, Dan Aretta and the Jared Gooden sub 2 or 3 prop. That's $15 plus 25. What is that? 40. And then we got $10 on this, 50, and then 2 $5 bets. So $60 total. That means if we hit any of these, we're doing good. We're doing good. So with that being said, I truly appreciate you guys for stopping by here and hanging out with me here tonight. If you haven't already, please do me a favor and hit the thumbs up button on the way out. And if you're new here, please subscribe here to the Golden Octagon. I would greatly appreciate that. Pretty much everything UFC related. I mostly built the channel off of doing UFC cards, but if you go back, I was doing the podcast before I opened one single UFC card. So I'm not going to stop doing something that this is the part that I truly love, and it's kind of free for me to do. This is what I enjoy the most. So I appreciate all of you that come to watch this type of video the most, to be honest, because, you know, we're here every single week, and, you know, it's hard to get people. It's hard to get people to come watch stuff like this. So I truly appreciate you guys for stopping by and hanging out with me right here tonight. Once again, if you haven't already, hit that thumbs up button on y'all's way out. And I hope you guys have a good weekend. You guys all stay safe, and you can win some money this weekend. But please do me a favor. What's going on, Tank Donner? I appreciate it, Austin and Daniel Aker. Have a blessed weekend, boys. Please do me a favor. Don't be betting any more than you can afford to lose, because at the end of the day, it is a fist fight and anything can happen. So keep that in mind. With that being said, I'll catch you guys later. Peace.